Bitcoin is consolidating, and right now if I am looking at all the metrics on Twitter, YouTube, compared to different channels, I see the interest in crypto is massively decreasing. But historically, this has always corresponded with major opportunities in the market. So in today's update video, I'm going to be exactly talking about Bitcoin, what we're expecting to be happening next year. I'm going to be talking about some huge predictions that BlackRock CEO is making, more important breaking news stories that hit the market just in the last 24 hours. And of course, I'm going to give a big brief down on Ethereum and much more important altcoins. So without any further ado, guys, I know the market is extremely boring. I know a lot of people are not interested, but slap on that like button, deck above 1,000 likes will be highly appreciated. And let me jump straight away in towards today's video. So we can see that, of course, on the Bitcoin 30-minute time frame, basically we're creating a new CME gap, and Bitcoin over the course of this weekend has hovered around in just a $400 to $500 price range, which is of course extremely boring. But if we're then looking at the 4-hourly time frame, we can see that we're still creating a major downward sloping resistance line, which clearly for the last month or so has provided us resistance. So this is going to be a critical level to be watching. And for then the last 12 to 13 days, we've been seeing this upper sloping support line providing support. So really, it is very easy to call the next trade on Bitcoin because these levels have clearly showed us to bounce from it and to, of course, get major rejections from it. So we're expecting to get a major breakout whenever either we are seeing a break above the resistance or the support. But yeah, that is basically expected to see for Bitcoin next year. Of course, with this weekend, we are creating another CME gap. So we're expecting that Bitcoin is going to be hovering around this price there. But of course, let me get in towards the more juicy stuff here, because I can currently clearly see on my YouTube page, the interest is dying in crypto. I can see it on my Twitter page, because that is the advantage of being a YouTuber. You can see all the stats here in the market. You can see the interest on people actually in crypto, actually in trading, and now the interest in crypto is extremely low here. And usually, historically speaking, this corresponds with market bottoms, because now no one is interested. Everyone thinks Bitcoin is over. But while this is happening last week here, we saw the US spot Bitcoin ETF buy over $750 million worth of Bitcoin again here, which is something very great here. And BlackRock has finally stopped selling their Bitcoin and actually is starting to accumulate again here, with them buying over $400 million worth of Bitcoin in only the last week here. And its CEO, Larry Fink, is expected that Bitcoin eventually is going to be rising up towards $500,000 to $700,000. And of course, we do know that the US government is a very pro-Bitcoin government at this moment of time here. And even Senator Cynthia Lummis, which is of course extremely bullish on Bitcoin, I do know that, but she is expected, and she is saying that the US government should be starting to sell some of its gold position to, of course, buy Bitcoin. And this is, of course, a thing they can be doing. This is a very normal thing they will most likely come up with, because they need to find a way to, of course, not influence the taxpayers. But if they are going to do so, guys, this is going to be a tremendous shift here. And let's say only if they're going to convert 10% of their gold in towards Bitcoin, the US gold, then it is going to be pumping the Bitcoin price from off this point of moment of time right now here to already like $150,000 US. So you're probably not expecting how big this news could be here. And of course, whenever this news is going to come out here, it's obviously going to attract even more investors from the outside as well. And ultimately, that is going to be pushing Bitcoin much higher. So really, while a lot of people are sleeping on it, obviously, I do really want to be pointing out that Bitcoin is a great long-term investment. So if you're buying Bitcoin and you're not trading it like I am doing, so make sure to just hold it. Like, of course, I'm not a financial advisor, but at least what I'm doing, I'm going to be holding it for like 5, maybe even 10 years from now on, because then I'm guaranteed to make a significant profit with my investment and to guarantee outperform inflation. So that is basically the strategy that I currently have in mind still for Bitcoin for the longer term perspective. Then on the daily time frame, bigger time frames, guys, we have seen such kind of a pattern many times before. Consolidation, breakdown, manipulation, people get afraid, people lose interest, and then only we see the push higher. Very normal, very thing that happens quite a lot on Bitcoin. And the weekly time frame still providing support here. But for me, it's going to be critical that we, of course, break the daily downward sloping trend line here. Then, obviously, I am still in some trading positions. And actually, what is very interesting right now is that right now, actually, if we're going to be looking back at all these previous bull cycles, I mean, really, if we're going to be timing this cycle, it is probably going to be lasting from 2022 to 2025, because that is historically how every single bull market in crypto and Bitcoin has gone before here. And if we're looking at any of these timings, the timing of this bull market is still exactly in play here, and it's likely to play out till the end of 2025. Well, many people are right now saying the bull market is already over. I mean, we are indeed seeing quite a significant drop-off. We're seeing significant drop in interest. People are not really believing in it anymore. But historically, when everyone loses faith, that are usually the best times to actually enter the market. And really, I mean, we've also not seen that altcoin season, but hear me out. I'm not, of course, going to say, okay, altcoin season is going to be happening, but altcoin season always happens whenever everyone says it is not going to be happening. And look at this chart. It's a very interesting one in my opinion. Actually, the altcoin market cap risen, the Bitcoin dominance dropped. So basically, altcoin season always started at a very interesting zone here. And that was whenever quantitative tightening stops. And yeah, I'm not want to be saying all too much right now here, but quantitative tightening is stopping on April 1st. So that is a very interesting thing which we're seeing. And that is just also a thing I'm clearly looking towards right now here. And we are seeing a very similar consolidation phase like we saw in previous cycles as well here. So in theory, it could still be happening. Of course, I do know it is not necessarily likely, but of course, as right now, potentially the inflation is going to be dropping quite heavily. Quantitative tightening, we know for sure because the Federal Reserve already said it, is going to stop anytime soon here. It is ultimately going to be very great for the entire market. Well, a lot of people are actually sleeping on this news here. And Bitcoin as well, if we're looking at the Bitcoin compared to gold valuation, it is actually sitting at a very interesting range here. Bitcoin also, if you're looking at the bigger perspective, has historically always created such kind of a trend line, get rejected by it, and of course whenever we break above it is when we go absolutely exponential. And just like you saw in 2017, we are currently just seeing like a fake out, a sell-off. People are getting afraid, but it really is like whenever Bitcoin tops out here, it's probably going to be somewhat of a blow off top and not such kind of a top we're currently creating here. So I'm very excited for that here. Ultimately, we're still expecting that in the coming 60 days, the US government is going to come up with somewhat of a plan to accumulate more Bitcoin in the strategic reserve. Expect that is going to be, of course, also a bullish catalyst in the market as well. But of course, now we're not hearing anything from that. The market is oversold on the stochastic RSI. It is oversold on the RSI itself as well here. Historically, these are very great opportunities to actually enter the market instead of exiting it. And we are seeing that also the global liquidity is starting to increase quite heavily as well here. So there are a lot of signals. Well, indeed, the market is very bearish. The sentiment is very bearish. That could still provide Bitcoin to go up higher. Like I said earlier, ultimately, if you don't believe in these metrics on the short term, the best way to do it is just to trade long term. But for me, what I've done here is set up multiple grid trading positions to accumulate if Bitcoin goes down to $60,000, even $55,000, and then sell off along the way up towards $130,000. So if you think this is somewhat of an interesting strategy for you as well here, you can check it out in the highest link description of today's video, where you can either copy my exact trading bot here or just sign up an account to Pionex to, of course, create your own trading strategies. So make sure to check it out in the link description of today's video. Further on, I want to quickly say some things about Ethereum because Ethereum is still quite low here in valuation. It had a massive drop here. You can even call it never had a bull market. But if we're looking at the news here, BlackRock is stating that Ethereum is a bet on tokenization. So if you believe in tokenization, stablecoin adoption, all these things here, decentralized finance, you must be betting on Ethereum. And ultimately, that is what I'm doing right now here. So BlackRock is still bullish on Ethereum. At the same time, Ethereum reserves are hitting an all-time low here. And also at the same time, BlackRock is saying that soon staking will be allowed in the Ethereum ETF. And if that will be happening, that would mean that they can maybe pay out dividends or like something else. And that ultimately would attract even more people towards the Ethereum ETF here. And that could potentially make it very attractive here. So that is, of course, the thing I'm looking forward towards right now. But just like I said, exchange reserves are hitting all-time lows here, which is showing us a sign of somewhat of a supply shock happening right now here. So ultimately, super excited for this here, super bullish in my opinion. Ethereum is looking great here on the bigger perspective on the weekly time frame. Massive support here. And yeah, I do know everyone says Ethereum is over, it is done. And that is why I have personally been buying a lot of it here because I don't believe that. Here also I've opened up a trading strategy. I will accumulate Ethereum all the way down here towards approximately $1,400, then distribute it along the way up here to $2,500. This is my imminent short-term trading strategy. It's like a short to medium-term trading strategy. Guys, you can all copy them in the link description of today's video. I mean, you have to understand, I can see the sentiment. It's extremely boring. No one really cares all too much about Bitcoin. But of course, I will never stop making these videos. And I really still believe there's quite a big of an opportunity in this market right here, because I just see so many people be afraid right now here, which makes myself very excited. And all those people that are right now extremely bearish, they will flip bullish on Bitcoin again whenever it breaks above $100,000 again here. So yeah, super excited for that here. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching towards this amazing new update video. If you did enjoy it, smash up the like button and see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.